Oh man, one thing they say about the internet is it's undefeated. And a lot of people are pulling up quote unquote receipts to either prove their point or to prove that people are frauds and basically prove that this was the truth the whole time and to tell a lot of people I told you so. Back in 2017, it was February, Candace Wiggins used to play in the WNBA for 8 seasons. She basically said that she was bullied for being heterosexual. The toxic culture is something that made her lose love for the game, and that 98% of the league is gay. I know a lot of people are cracking jokes already saying that 98% is way too low. So basically, the WNBA, they sent this young individual, Breanna Stewart, who was a highly notable individual coming out of UConn, winning 4 straight championships, and then she was a top overall pick in the WNBA. So if anybody was looking to get bullied, anybody was looking to get challenged, somebody on the outside would say, I assume Breanna Stewart would be getting bullied and hazed and things of that nature, right? Because she didn't come out into the interview saying that she was a lesbian. Nah, she didn't come out saying that she is involved with a lifestyle that's called toxic or things like that. She tried to brush things under the rug. She tried to denounce the statements. But of course, Breanna Stewart, you're gonna be comfortable with a bunch of lesbians in the locker room if you are a lesbian in the locker room. When she was on the interview that you're going to see later in the video, we're going to check out a couple articles and a couple clips. She was in the video basically saying that everything is fine, everything is hunky-dory. Like, I guess something must be wrong with Candace Wiggins, but we have to understand that's Candace Wiggins' experience. And if you want to fast forward from 2017 to today, and a lot of people probably already picked up on that throughout the years, you can see that Candace Wiggins is 100% right, because they don't even promote regular heterosexual relationships. They don't promote the fine sisters or the fine woman in general on commercials, ads, things like that. All we see is Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi, and not saying anything is wrong with that because I already know Diana Taurasi is one of my favorite players. But basically, we're not seeing any Skylar Diggins. And just talk about Skylar Diggins real quick. You compare her to what she looked like in her rookie year to what she looks like right now. She looks a whole lot more manly, and I just think that's by design. Like, everything about her is real muscular, real toned out. It's just extra. Like, she just looks real manly, especially when you want to try to compare your salary to those in the NBA that's riding the bench and things like that. That's just mad disrespectful, and it just has nothing to do with the comparison of the WNBA and the NBA equity, revenue, and things like that. Not to digress, but basically, Breanna Stewart tried to make everything seem like it was all right. But obviously, you can tell that she was basically an agent sent in the limelight to just denounce the noise and quiet it real quick to make it seem like Candace was bugging, Candace was maybe overreacting and things like that. But how can you send in a lesbian to try to denounce a heterosexual female's comments when she's a lesbian? That's quite biased, ain't it? They will basically say conflict of interest. You can't represent me. You know what I'm saying? So we got to ask, how did we get here? Because a lot of people already know that the league is full of lesbians. They're tatted up from the ankle to the neck bone. They do a lot of chest bumps. They tap boards. They try to dunk, but they can't. They try to talk a lot of shit. And I could already see that a heterosexual female getting bullied in that league. They don't even try to promote them. So it's just like, you don't even try to promote your good looking stars. Not saying lesbians don't look good, but majority of your audience is going to be conservative guys, conservative Caucasians, conservative so-called black men. It don't even matter, that have interest in women that actually like men, not women who are envious of having a penis and women who want to chest bump, smack asses, talk shit like a dude. Nobody is really interested in that unless you're from China, to where you like lady boys and things like that. Not to digress, but let's check it out and let's just see how we got here, because like I say, the internet is undefeated, and in due time you can see the agendas that are getting played and you can see what time it is, because basically the WNBA is just here to push lesbianism. A long time ago, Andre Iguodala said that he doesn't want his daughter to play in the WNBA so she could become a lesbian. A lot of people didn't like that comment. So we got to ask, what's your preference? What are you for? And are you for a league that basically supports and promotes and boasts and pushes the lesbian lifestyle, which basically majority of this country is not for? Or do you want to see it push the equality that it says that he wants? I don't know. Let's check it out.
What Wiggins said about the WNBA is beyond me. It's shocking. And it literally came out of nowhere to me, as she isn't even playing in the league anymore.
While the league remains silent, Wiggins is doubling down on her statements, but getting plenty of backlash from other players. This week, former Lynx player Candace Wiggins took a shot. This one not aimed at the hoop, but the whole league. In a candid interview with the San Diego Union-Tribune, Wiggins, who retired last March after 8 seasons in the WNBA, said she was bullied throughout her career, essentially for being straight. Quote, "I would say 98% of the women in the WNBA are gay women. It was a conformist type of place. There was a whole different set of rules they could apply," end quote. She goes on to say, quote, "People were deliberately trying to hurt me all the time. I had never been called the B word so many times in my life than I was in my rookie season. I'd never been thrown to the ground so much. The message was, we want you to know we don't like you," end quote. And by rookie season, she means the Lynx. We reached out to the Lynx, no comment. WNBA, no comment. So the narrative gets rolled over to social media, where several current and former players are speaking out. Misty Bass said that wasn't her experience. Imani Boyette wondering why Wiggins is shaming the whole league. Devro Peters also refuting the claims.
In the time I've covered the league, no one has ever told me that, on or off the record, that they felt like they were bullied in the league for any reason.
ESPNW reporter Michelle Vopels covered the WNBA since it started. She's not saying Wiggins' claims aren't true, but she is saying they are bold statements that lack context.
I called her and, wanted to get her response, to those statements. And she said she didn't want to talk about it anymore. She didn't understand why the comments were getting a lot of attention, and that she just wanted peace and privacy. To say those kind of things that are that inflammatory about an entire organization, and then, literally the same day that interview comes out, say that you don't really want to talk about it, I find that a bit disingenuous, frankly.
Wiggins responded again in the Union Tribune saying, quote, "I'm not sorry for saying what needs to be said."
As you can tell, a lot of women weren't feeling those comments. A lot of people weren't feeling those comments because it ruffled a lot of feathers, and basically the cat was out of the bag. I just want to ask, when did 98% of something become all of it? 98% is still a partial amount. It's damn near majority, but let's see that your league isn't majority gay and you wouldn't have a problem. I mean, I'm going through photos right now, digging, and you got individuals that are taking couples photos at media day. I mean, you're talking about you're not really pushing the lesbian culture, but you have lesbians taking couples photos at media day. You know what I'm saying? But we about to get into this next clip right here, to where Brianna basically was sent like a pit bull to ESPN to talk to these two individuals right here. And Michael Smith, man, the black simp that's on the right. Watch him on his grind, come from around the horn to build his shit up to where him and this female right here, Jamel Hill, they basically had their own show to where it basically went down in the dumps because he wanted to follow her down that woke warpath. And now y'all had that SC6 series for about 6 months, and that was it for y'all. It's like, come on, fellas. If you know that something ain't right in your gut and you just trying to go along to get along with a female just because you might be cool or just because you might try to get some drawers or things like that, man, just roll with what's right. At the end of the day, you will not beat anybody but yourself, because you're only going to play yourself at the end of the day. And Michael Smith played himself at the end of the day because he should still be at ESPN. Now he's working on some low-end YouTube channel, not saying that something's wrong with that, because a lot of people should just try to have their own platform to begin with. But we got to understand that this was a dude, I saw him grind to the point that he was here at SC6 Sports Center. The highest point of the day is the 6 o'clock time hour, and they fucked it up because they wanted to go down a woke warpath. Let's check out this interview with Breonna Stewart.
Why did you feel the need to respond? And for that matter, you have the floor. And what do you want to say?
Well, I think it was important to respond to this. And I think that, obviously with Candace's statements and what she had to say, that's huge. And you don't want to look away from that. And her being bullied and feeling, uncomfortable in the WNBA, that's not what you want. That's not what we want as a league and that type of thing. But also to come and to really stand as an ally to the WNBA and saying that these stereotypes, they really can't be said. You can't marginalize such a big group and say, 98% of the league is gay.
Mm-hmm. What's your experience been like just in terms of the culture, the locker room, the camaraderie a year into your WNBA career?
Well, I think, having gone through my rookie year, it's been great. And, to Candace's comments, she said the majority of this happened in her first 2 years. So having gone 1 year in the WNBA, it hasn't been anything that she has said. And obviously, she may be accurate in what happened with her career, but, with me, I was in a welcome place. My teammates were great. On the court, it's always going to be competitive. You're going to get pushed around. You're going to get, welcome to the league with even more physical play. But other than that, if you can play basketball and you have the skill set to be there, then you're welcome to be there.
You said at the top of this interview that you recognized that this was her particular experience. But there is a possibility that there could be some other players in the league who are experiencing something similar. What do you think the league can do going forward to make sure there isn't a culture, maybe not where you're playing, but there isn't some underlying culture of bullying and harassment and some of the things she described?
I definitely think that, the league can do a huge job, or has a huge responsibility, to follow through with this. These claims, you can't just, brush them off to the next thing. Candace Wiggins, what she said and how her experiences was, you have to go in and research that and see if it was true or not, and if it's still happening, like you said, in this league. And if it is, then we have some changes that need to be made.
All right, I'm about to jump into this article real quick, and then we're going to piece up out of here. Seattle Storm star Breanna Stewart says she felt comfortable in rookie WNBA season, and is written by Kate Fagan, who is basically another known lesbian working for ESPN. It is what it is. Not trying to throw stones, just trying to see if we notice any bias in the reports. So let's just jump into the middle of the report, because basically it starts off saying the same thing about how Candace said she was bullied and things of that nature. Many WNBA players have since spoken out about their own experience in the league, painting a very different picture than Wiggins. Former UConn star Stewart called her first professional season great. When you think of going to the WNBA, going to the professional level in general, it's a different type of competition. Stewart said in an interview, people are fighting for their livelihood and their jobs. You're not going to agree or like everyone on the basketball court, but once you step off the court, the Storm, my teammates, we had a great time. I know every team isn't like that, but in my rookie season, I felt like everyone had open arms. So I wonder why everybody had open arms and you had such a great time, Breanna. We just have to ask for a friend. And then they basically trying to compare it to basically saying that we're at the professional level now. So Candace, you're not going to get treated like you were in Stanford and things like that. They're trying to downplay it right then and there and try to basically say it was a competition thing, trying to basically attack her character of not saying that she didn't want to compete at a high level. Now let's keep going. Stewart was a bigger star than Wiggins upon entering the WNBA. She was the number 1 pick in the 2016 draft, coming off 4 consecutive years of winning the NCAA tournament with the Huskies. Stewart, too, could have been seen by WNBA veterans as a youngster who needed to be knocked down a peg. You see what they tried to do? Now, like I said, we got to search for biases. They're going to be reaching from all angles to basically try to dismiss what Candace is saying. They're trying to say now, since Stewart, the number 1 pick, she's coming from UConn. She might be a little snob. She should be getting bullied. But like I say, she's down with the team, if you know what I mean. She's down for scissoring and all that types of play. It is what it is. So you're going to be welcome with open arms if they already know what side you playing on. You feel me? Candace made claims of bullying. If that's her story, that's her story. If that's what happened to you, I'm sorry that happened, Stewart said. I never heard that it was an environment where you didn't feel safe and you didn't feel comfortable. If anything, it's an environment where you should feel comfortable. It's a place where nothing matters. Race, sexuality, except whether you have game. They're trying to just make it about basketball, and that's not what it's about. Wiggins was drafted by the Minnesota Lynx and went on to play for Tulsa, Los Angeles, and New York after 5 seasons in Minnesota. She retired abruptly at 29 last year, citing physical wear and tear on her body and saying she didn't really love the game anymore. Basically, what women have to understand is that your body isn't really meant to be making all these cuts, all these jumps, all these different types of moves and skill sets that you have to play, that you have to play basketball and things like that. That's why girls always have these injuries, because your body wasn't really made to be making all these cuts and all these movements like that. A lot of people might not feel that statement, but you really have to look at it for what it is. You have to look at the science. You have to look at the nature. You have to look at your body design. You know what I'm saying? That's why they always try to compare the men and women and things like that. The men's body is built like this and the woman's body is built like that, because we have certain things, certain needs that we're gonna have that we need from our body to perform in different ways. But Wiggins told ESPNW's Michelle Vopel, who's basically another lesbian, if you go ahead and check her out. I'm not saying this to bash these women, but we have to understand that she's going to talk to a bunch of woke lesbians and people who are trying to push that lifestyle. So she basically was in a lose-lose situation. That's why she didn't even really want to talk like that. She said that she was not comfortable talking about her personal life, and that she hoped to publish a memoir that would detail these experiences this week, that said 98% of the women in the league are gay, and that it was a conformist type of place. The way I looked, the way I played, those things contributed to the tension, Wiggins told the Union Tribune. She later said that 98% figure was an illustration rather than fact. So it's basically a broad statement, but a lot of people are going to agree with that because they're basing it off what they notice, what they see, and what they are hearing from the WNBA on a day-to-day basis. And a lot of people, you can't really try to dismiss that fact when the proof is in the pudding. You know what I mean? WNBA Commissioner Lisa Borders said in a statement today she was stunned and disappointed by Wiggins' claims, adding that it concerns me if any of our players do not have a positive experience, and I hope that anyone who feels uncomfortable would reach out to me or others in the league office. Lisa Borders is basically another lesbian-looking female herself. I'm not saying this to bash. I'm saying this to prove that this is facts over feelings, and you could do the dirt yourself if you don't believe what I'm saying. Stewart said she would support the WNBA looking into Wiggins' allegations. If they were to look into it, I don't think that anyone would have a problem with it, Stewart said. If they want to figure out who is right and who is wrong in this story, that's the smartest way to do it. You have to respect Candace, and like I said, if that's her story, it sucks that happened. But there's a lot missing in this story. For the league to find what's missing and put the pieces together makes more sense than just I was straight and I was bullied for it. There's a lot more to it, I'm sure. End quote. So they're basically trying to say that there got to be more to the story than just saying that I'm straight and I was bullied. I mean, she's saying that it's a conformist type of place. And, we have to really understand the proof is in the pudding. This is what we see on a day-to-day basis. This is what you guys are pushing. This is what your agenda is. The agenda was for the WNBA to push lesbianism to the masses. You're pushing it to the little youth, the little girls that want to be basketball players, because who are they going to watch besides watching LeBron, Steph Curry, and things like that? They're going to be watching the Sue Birds, Diana Taurasi, Skylar Diggins, these notable, prominent lesbians that you have as the face of your league. Nobody's saying that to bash. We're stating the facts. So they're trying to make it a competition thing. They're trying to make it just a singular event thing. Things like this, you have basically Candace Wiggins, who has become the Eric Snowden of the world. She's basically the whistleblower of the WNBA, and they try to brush it up, trying to say that Stewart was a bigger star. She should have experienced some hazing, some bashing. She wasn't straight, though. So how could she receive the same hazing? How could she try to be forced or be pressured into trying to conform to a lifestyle that she's already down for? You know what I'm saying? The locker room is already aware of your lifestyle. They know what time, they know which way you swinging. It doesn't really take long for them to figure that out, especially when we're talking about WNBA vets. We got to understand if it's toxic and things like that. Don't sweep it under the rug. It is what it is, because a lot of people are going to figure it out in due time. And look, fast forward to now, we're talking about Breonna Stewart talking about she said yes. She just got engaged not too long to a former teammate, people. We have to understand the proof is in the pudding. They try to dismiss it. They want to try to quiet that noise. But we fast forward to now to 2021 and Breonna Stewart is engaged to a former teammate. So no wonder you were having a great time. No wonder you were welcomed with open arms. You was getting your game on while getting your game on and off the court. Sideline talk, extracurricular activities, pre-game, post-game, the whole shebang. I mean, we talking all types of things going on in this locker room where you're talking about you're welcome with open arms, and then you fast forward to now you're marrying a former teammate. So, damn, shit must have been really popping back then or whenever it was initiated. It is what it is. Not to digress, we already know what's going on behind closed doors, as you can see, but is the WNBA a lesbian league? It's an obvious yes. I don't need to spell it out for you. It's just so crazy that they were trying to hide that information or try to suppress the information because they were trying to watch their dollars. But you're not making any dollars to begin with. You're not netting any profits. All you're doing is bitching and complaining about making equal pay, but your product is weak as shit and nobody wants to watch a bunch of lesbians run up and down the court like it's open gym at the Y. No disrespect. But we have to understand this. If you're trying to hide or suppress any information, meanwhile you're promoting it on the side, you have to understand people are not as stupid as you're trying to make them seem. When you have an NBA player, a prominent one, and Andre Iguodala trying to say he doesn't want his daughter to play basketball and become a lesbian, a lot of people didn't like that statement. But how many people can suppress that statement? How many people can diffuse that statement? When the proof is in the pudding, when we see it on a day-to-day basis, you're taking pictures, you're having couples days on media day, you're having all these couples, you having all the lesbians as basically your top faces that go to speak on ESPN, that go to speak on Fox Sports Network and things like that. So the prominent faces, the most notable names are lesbians. So you have to understand that hurts your ratings. People don't want cultures and lifestyles and things that are really extreme pushed on the youth, their children, their sons and their daughters, because it's not just daughters that are watching the WNBA. You have to understand the lifestyles that you guys are pushing. Then we're not talking about this and that. Whatever you do is what you do, but you don't have to promote it. You don't have to boast it. Yes, you're public figures. Then you want to talk about respect your privacy. Make it make sense. It's an oxymoron. If you really want privacy, you really wouldn't be announcing that you just got engaged. Things like that. We already know what time it is with the WNBA. We already know why a lot of people don't want to watch it. Bring more feminine women in, bring more feminine energy in there. There's a lot of women that are in the WNBA that are very envious that they do not have a penis. That's why they walk around with straps in their backpack and they take girls to the telly. It is what it is. Yo, not to digress, but the WNBA has to understand that it's a huge problem if the general public is learning more about the relationships of your so-called stars of your league, more than they're hearing about the statistics, more than they're hearing about the stories, more than they're hearing about the rivalries, if there are any within your 12-team league. We're hearing more about lesbian relationships, lesbianism, wokeism, racism, activism, all these things for the WNBA, but we're not hearing any athleticism coming from your game. Any capitalism, we're not seeing that from your game because you're not making any revenue. And on another note, the WNBA has to understand it is a huge problem if a good amount of the general public is finding out about Candace Parker for the first or maybe even the second time from watching her as an analyst on NBA on TNT. Do you have to understand how sad that is when Candace Parker is one of the best women's basketball players in the history of the sport? But on the flip side, we know that Sue Bird is dating Megan Rapinoe. Make it make sense. All right, man. That's all I got for this video, man. Let me know what y'all think. I'm out.